think this may be one of the most important questions you asked tonight, because the truest test of what a person does is how they act. And certainly we will be called upon to act time and time again, sometimes against big entrenched powers in this town, and we'll have to have the ability to do that. I was called in during the period when Louima and Diallo were in the news so much, when tensions were so high. I was asked to come in by the City of New York and conduct an independent investigation of the NYPD. I was asked specifically to peer into the question of why civilian complaints were not being responded to. I did that. I carry that kind of thinking forward as I think about this job. I am very aware of what's been going on, both in the press, but frankly, more importantly, within this issue of men being stopped in gay bookstores. I filed a complaint with the Commission on Human Rights, asking them to investigate whether or not the NYPD was engaged in systemic targeting of gay men. I didn't just write about it, I acted. I filed an official petition. That's the kind of action you have to take, because what you do now will be an indication of what you'll do in the future.
Mr. Venice.
This is an issue where it appears that the district attorney's office is in a position where the cases may be vacated, those where pleas have been taken, and that seems certainly to be the right direction. So it seems as if the district attorney's office has now taken hold of this and is arriving at where it should be. When I fully support that result, and I fully support inquiry into the police conduct here, as to whether officers were fabricating information. That's unacceptable. But what disturbs me, and what I think is important, is how we get onto these issues early so that they don't become, as in this case, an event that took months and months and months and months before the DA learned about it. If we had, for example, a community justice model where DAs were assigned to these precincts, we would have, as district attorneys, understood this was an issue, understood who the police officers were that were involved, and been able to nip this in the bud. So that's why the community justice model, I believe, will both prevent crime, preserve civil liberties, and is an appropriate solution going forward for the DA's office.
Well, when I heard about this, and I was told about it by friends in the LGBT community, I wrote an op-ed piece for the Blade. And in it, I indicated what my philosophy is, which is very simple. If there is entrapment or any legal issue, obviously the district attorney's office cannot proceed in that kind of a case. We have to be fair, we have to do the right thing, and I would immediately, if I were the district attorney, call for a meeting with the police department and the appropriate people. But how do you know this is true? Everyone says nice things. I've been working on LGBT issues for over 35 years. When I was a young assistant district attorney, I saw discrimination against the victim of sex crimes, against women, against children, and against people who were then not known as gay. I saw police looking through peepholes, watching men in private acts of sodomy. And I wrote a reform of the penal law, which I worked and strived for years, which was to repeal consensual sodomy in addition to eliminating unfair evidentiary requirements. I have always fought for this community, and I will continue to.